Hello everyone, we are back for a new video. Today we will be editing this audio rate that I shot in Düsseldorf. I shot this with my 50mm 1.8 from Canon. So let's start by cropping the picture. I'm gonna bring it to 8 by 10 for Instagram because it's the Instagram size. And I'm going to bring this a little bit up because I want to keep the trees in the picture. And I'm going to straighten it a bit because the car is not straight. So there we go. And maybe just a little bit more because it's still a bit crooked. Okay. I will start also by remove the chromatic aberration and enabling the profile correction. Sorry. Then I'm gonna bring the exposure up a bit because later I will be playing with the tone curve to add some contrast, and this will bring the exposure down because it's gonna make the card. The contrast is going to make the picture darker. So that's why I always bring the exposure a bit up. And I'm also going to bring the shadows up because they're going to be impacted by the contrast. The highlights, I'm going to bring them down because we can see it's too highlighted. So let's bring them down. For the whites, you can press Alt and see where it starts to burn. So we can see here it's burned, so maybe 9. And I will bring the blacks down so we can see it burns, so maybe like just a little bit. Now I will head over to the tone curve to add some contrast. So I'm going to bring the blacks down so you can see it immediately adds a lot of contrast if you bring them down. So maybe this is enough. And the highlights, I'm going to bring them up just a little bit. Just here to make the car a bit more shiny. Now here it's really bright, so I'm going to bring a graduate filter. I'm bringing it down from the top corner to the car, and I will decrease the highlights. And I'm also going to increase the temperature just a little bit because I want to make the sun a bit warmer. So there we go. Maybe a little bit more down. We can see that if I bring it a bit more up, maybe just a little bit, yeah, maybe like this. Then I'm gonna use a radial filter because I want the eye to be more focused on the car. So I'm gonna draw one on the car, and I will invert the mask because now when it's selected, it's gonna impact what's inside the circle, and when you deselect it, it's gonna impact what's outside the circle. So that's what I want, because I want to decrease the exposure a bit on the environment so that the car gets more detached from it. So just like this. So when this is done, I'm gonna use the brush and I'm gonna paint the car. So I will press O to see where I'm painting, so it starts to get red. I'm going to decrease the brush a bit because it's too big. There we go. So you just paint the whole car or the elements that you want to impact. In this case, I'm just going to paint the whole car. There we go. I press O again, and now you can start the edit. So we can see that with the tone curve we added contrast, but it made the blacks and the front grille lot darker, so I'm gonna bring the shadows up to get a bit more light on the grill. I'm gonna bring a bit of clarity as well in the picture, and also some sharpness on the car, because you want the car to be quite sharp, kind of like this effect. Then the contrast, I think it's enough. Maybe no, I'm gonna leave it to 0 because we already added quite a lot of contrast with the tone curve. So I think this will be it for the brush. I will see if I can maybe warm the picture a little bit up, because I feel like it's a bit too bluish, a bit too cold. So we can see if I bring the temperature up a little bit, you can see that it reduces the blues in the picture. I don't want to have this, bring this up too much because I don't want to have an orangey picture, but maybe like this. And you can also go to the colors. Here you can impact just one color, for example the blues. If you want to decrease them, you can. So I'm gonna decrease them a little bit because there's still a bit of blue in the window, as you can see if I amplify it. So maybe just a bit like this, and also maybe the aquas a little bit. There we go. Maybe I'll bring the purples also down, because I feel like there's a little bit of purple in the headlight. I don't really like it. Maybe the magentas. You can see that they don't really impact a lot of, on the picture, so you can bring them. I'm gonna bring them just to 0 because I don't really need those colors. Then you can also play with the yellows if you want. Maybe we can see what it does. So if you bring them up, the trees are just gonna turn yellow. So I don't really want this. So I think I'm just gonna leave these to zero. But I'm gonna go back to the graduate filter, because maybe I'm gonna bring it down a bit more on the car to have this warm effect also on the car. So maybe I'm gonna make it. I'm not convinced about the warmth. I really want the sun to come down on the car. So, but I also don't want the paint to turn yellow. So I think I'm just gonna leave it to 22. There we go. I feel like the picture is still not straight. So I'm gonna just maybe go a little bit more. Yeah, I think like this is better. Maybe now it's just a little bit too much. I can't really see it. So maybe here. Okay. I think that's it. Now I'm gonna go to Photoshop, because, oh, sorry. I want to remove these reflections in the paint. So I will show you how to do this. It's pretty easy. You can go to edit in and then Photoshop. It's gonna upload it. You just import it. And what I always do is duplicate the background first. So there we go. So I'm gonna try to remove these leaves that are reflected in the paint. So the tool that I'm gonna use is the spot healing brush tool. So this will make it automatic. It usually works well for smaller elements like these, but when you want to remove bigger elements, it doesn't always work well. So I'm gonna try with this tool first. You can see here it worked well. So let's remove the smaller parts and see what we can do. I'm also gonna remove this one. There we go. So you can see that it works really good. It's really easy. So let's see with the bigger one. Still did a good job. So let's remove the little parts. And maybe here also. There we go, that was easy, you see. So that's okay. Maybe we can remove a little bit of the reflections on here. So again, just paint on it with this tool and it works really good, you see. There we go. So that's okay for now. To remove the number plate, I'm gonna use the clone stamp. So let's see what we can do. Let's duplicate this, and now I have to try to align the elements, but there's so many lines that it's pretty difficult to see properly. So let's see what we can do up here. I think I'm gonna have to align on this. There we go. And here it's not making it perfect. Let's do this and then maybe we can correct with the healing spots. Let's see what it does. Okay, it makes it crooked. I don't want that. So maybe I'm gonna clone another part. Make this one. Let's use this one maybe. No. This one will maybe work. There we go. And I'm also gonna have to reuse this one. Maybe there. Okay. That's better maybe. And let's see here. Here also just seeing what's not looking great. Maybe this. And this node is also a bit strange. There we go. I think if you dezoom, you don't really notice it. So there we go. That was our edit. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and please subscribe, give me a like, and also tell me what you think of this edit in the comments. Tell me if you learned something or what you want to see next. Have a great day and see you soon. Bye bye.